Well, top of the morning to ya. So we are going to be talking about test banks today. So on the left-hand side, the first thing we need to do is make sure we're using new quizzes on our course. So you can see I'm in my demo course. So I click the settings button and then I can click the feature options. And you can see I have these new quizzes as one of the options, and I can make sure that that's activated. Okay, it should automatically be activated for most of your courses, but it's important you do that because as they do updates and fixes and whatnot, they're going to be doing that to new quizzes, not old quizzes. And old quizzes is going to be outdated. Eventually, it might even stop being supported. Okay, and then there's also the option to default to new quizzes if you would like. It's up to you, your preference. Okay, so then the next step is to make sure I create my quiz. Okay, so I'm going to hit plus quiz. Okay, and then I have classic or new, right? Again, I recommend doing new. Okay, if you create a test bank in old quizzes, it will not transfer over to new quizzes. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I might do like test quiz or whatever. Okay, and then as I scroll down, I hit this build button. This build button is going to take me to the new quizzes platform or template or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so you can see this is where if I were to just build a quiz, I'd be hitting the plus buttons, yada, yada, yada. Okay, but you really want to create item or test banks because if you do that, you can pull from them from time to time and you can have it be random, right? You don't have to create each question every single time. Okay, so there's two options to get there. There's either the item banks button, which I would recommend using these 3 dots because it's easier to keep track of things. So 3 dots and then manage item banks. Okay, so when I click that button, I have no banks right now in this course, but you can see right here I can select all banks. Okay, so let's say I was creating a new bank, right? I don't have anything yet. I'm gonna hit plus bank. I would name it based on the strand and standard. So like strand 1, standard 1, right? So that's how I would break it down if I were you. Create bank. Okay, so then it's in all banks, I can go find it that way. Or if I hit this course, oh, I guess it automatically puts it in all banks. Making me look like an idiot out here. Okay, so strand 1, standard 1. So you can see that's where I created it. So if I click on that bank, I'm now in that folder. So then this is where I can go and add my different questions. Okay, so I would recommend doing this. It's a lot more work up front, but it will allow you to analyze the data as you're creating things. So just to give you an example, multiple choice, right, whatever. Okay, so as I'm creating these options, you can see down here I can align to outcomes. So if I were to have uploaded my outcomes into Canvas, like strand 1, standard 1, or whatever, I can see as students are taking the test, anytime this question is answered incorrectly, it will populate in the data so I can pull and see, oh, like my students are struggling with this question or whatever, okay, or this strand or standard. Okay, so that's an easy way to do that. Okay, so to show you how you upload it into your test, let's go back to our test. Okay, so test quiz. You go to build again, like build a bear. Funny jokes today. All right, so I can either hit plus here to add questions, okay, or I hit item banks, and then see I click on all banks and I can go to, so I already have all these created. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click the plus all button. Oh, wait a sec, that's not a good one. Let's choose one where I have more questions. Home ownership, that should, yeah, there we go. All right, so then I hit all random. Okay, so it's going to add all the questions. So you can see I have 14 questions that it just added. Okay, but let's say I don't want all 14 on this quiz. Okay, so I just click this edit button and then I can randomly select questions. Okay, and then what's the number of questions that I want? Maybe I only want 7 of the 14 randomly. Okay, so it's going to change for every student all the time. Points per question 1. Okay, I can just select all those. So now it's randomly going to select 7 questions from that test bank. So that's pretty much everything. So then, yeah, as students are taking the tests and whatnot, you can click on reports and you can pull this data. So that way you can kind of see what strands or standards your students are struggling with. So that's everything I've got about test banks. Hopefully that helps you out. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Take care.